So, I built a budget gaming PC under $900 or 80,000 INR with RTX 4060, and quite frankly, it's everything I've been looking for. I mostly use it for editing and playing games, and the performance is just mwah. While building this PC, I tried to prioritize not just gaming but also productivity, as I was gonna use it for editing too. Now, for gaming and editing, most system requirements are relatively the same, but there are some differences. The most important one is that for gaming, CPU core count is not that important, but for editing, it is very important. So, I chose the components based on my requirements and budget constraints. First thing I picked was the graphic card, and I had two options in my budget. I could either go with the 12GB RTX 3060 or 8GB RTX 4060. I went with the 4060 because of two major reasons. The first one is that it obviously offers higher frame rate in games thanks to its DLSS 3 support. And the second is that it is way more power efficient, 115 watts as compared to 170 watts of the 12GB RTX 3060. While the extra 4GB VRAM would have been useful in playing games at a higher resolution, but like most gamers, I prioritize FPS over high graphics. So, 8GB 4060 was the obvious choice. Next thing I picked was the processor. I went with the Intel i5 14th generation 1440F. It has a total of 10 cores, 6 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, along with 16 threads. The F at the end of the 14400 means that this CPU doesn't come with an integrated graphics card. As you can see, it's also written on the box. You basically need a dedicated GPU to use it, otherwise due to the lack of an integrated GPU, you won't be able to get a display output. But besides that, this processor is good for gaming on a budget. It comes with a stock cooler, but I didn't use it. Instead, I opted for this AG400 cooler by Deepcool. It's a 120mm RGB fan which is much better at keeping the CPU cool than the stock fan. For the RAM, I went with this Corsair Vengeance 16GB DDR5 RAM. I would have liked 32GB RAM, but some corners had to be cut to get the RTX 4060 under 80K, and this is one such corner. This RAM, however, is one of the best. It is compatible across a wide range of DDR5 motherboards, and it is also Intel XMP ready. It means that this RAM supports stock overclocking configurations, which are both stable and easier for new users to try. It can handle data transfer speeds at up to 5200 MHz, which is great, and the best part is that it comes with a limited lifetime warranty, which provides peace of mind for years. I paired it with this crucial P3 Plus 1TB NVMe SSD with PCIe support. It can execute thousands of parallel command queues, making it much faster than traditional hard drive. And it comes with a 3-year warranty. Now, to put this all together, I opted for this MSI B760M Bomber Wi-Fi motherboard. It has an HDMI port, a VGA port, a display port, 2 USB 2.0 ports for mouse and keyboard, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, a LAN port, some audio ports, and dual-band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth extender port. This motherboard supports a wide range of processors from the latest 14th Gen to Intel Celeron and Pentium. It's got a built-in Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, and it supports DDR5. It's got 2 PCIe 4.0 and dual-channel DDR5 slots, allowing for upgrading the RAM and storage in the future. The only compromise with it is that it lacks a Type-C port, but with a connecting hub, it's not a problem. To power all of this, I went with a 650-watt power supply. It's MWE Bronze V3 from Cooler Master. It is ATX 3.1 compliant, so it can handle peak power 1.5 times higher than the rated maximum wattage, which is perfect for using with the 40 series GPU. Its cables are also very good. They have a nice textured design which reduces tangle issues. The cabinet I went for is the Zebronics Zeb Titan, which is a mid-tower chassis. It looks really cool with 4 RGB fans which are just for the show. And it has these glass panels which allows you to fully appreciate the build and design of your unit. It's also got this magnetic dust filter at the top, and with that, the build is complete. Here's the quotation. Now, let's play some games on it. I played Witcher 3 at max settings with max ray tracing and DLSS off. I was getting a stable 45 to 50 FPS. After turning on DLSS, FPS were ranging from 80 to 95. At max settings with DLSS and without ray tracing, I was getting 180 to 200 FPS. Then I reduced the graphics and turned off ray tracing. And at 270, even reaching 300 with DLSS. The CPU temperature was staying below 70 and GPU temp was stable at 73 degrees. I also played some Elden Ring. With all the settings maxed out and ray tracing on, the FPS were around 50. But with ray tracing turned off, FPS was stable at 60, which is the maximum FPS this game supports. You cannot go higher than this. I played the game for about an hour on max settings and there were no excessive heating. The CPU temperature stayed at around 60 to 63 degrees throughout the game. In Valorant, with all the settings maxed out, the FPS was smooth, staying at around 250 most of the time. Sometimes even reaching 320. The whole gameplay was very smooth. In Forza Horizon 5, with all the graphics settings maxed out and ray tracing set to extreme, I was getting stable 60 FPS. The GPU was staying at around 60 degrees, while the CPU temperature stayed well under 60. So, that was a gaming test, but now let's take a look at its editing prowess. This is a 4K Premiere Pro project with a bunch of effects, texts and other stuff. And take a look at the file size. And now, let's hit export. It took about 4 minutes 47 seconds to export a 4.3 GB 4K project on this machine. I also ran a few benchmarks. Here are the results. First, I ran Cinebench 2024. The GPU scored 9749, which is on the higher side. Then I ran CPU benchmarks and it scored 103 on single core, which is good, and 757 on multi-core, which is a bit less. I also ran some benchmarks with Geekbench 6 and it scored 2280 on single core and 10361 on multi-core. I also ran two separate GPU benchmarks. In OpenCL, it got 1,03,299 and in Vulkan, it got 95,747. I also ran Antutu benchmark and got a combined score of over 1.6 million. Overall, it performs very well for most recent AAA titles and works great for 1080p gaming. It runs most games without any lag and handles 4K editing smoothly. A few corners were cut, but nothing that holds it back for what I need. So, that was my budget gaming PC build under 80,000 INR or $900. If you're building something similar, drop your thoughts or questions below. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button, subscribe to our channel and see you in the next one.